Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Jay from Keeping It Real, your arbiter of gaming news and commentary, hitting you off with a studio production video where you know this is your channel, where all gamers' voices are heard. With your boy Jay, always dropping the word. Keeping them other gaming YouTubers like, what you heard? And where you always know, we always keep it all the way real. So what's up, YouTube? You know what time it is. The places where your gamers voices are heard, and your boy Jay is dropping that word. So yeah, what's up, everybody? Just want to thank you all for checking out my video today. And you know what time it is. I had to do it. I'm back live in effect. And man, starting up another video, man. So it's been a minute, but you know your boy had to get back up in it. And because, you know, things are at a fevering pitch, and you guys need the truth and someone who keeps it real up in this mud, especially if you're tired of all those industry Xbox guy YouTubers out there that's only looking out for whatever the sponsors want them to say instead of just keeping it real and saying what needs to be said. That's what you got me here for. So yeah, man, this one's gonna be an interesting video, man. This is one I've been thinking a lot about, man. I had a fellow gamer hit me up on my prior video, man, and he you know, by the name of Viper, man, he hit me up saying, you know, he went to the suggestion of is that which is a great opinion on it, man, that Sony may not even be existing in the next 10 years. Now, this was said by an industry guy who knows a lot about this, was speaking to Diller, I believe, about Sony not even existing in another 10 years. And he was speaking on Game Pass and the new trend is being set by Microsoft. But man, I wanted to go ahead and break it down, man. Go ahead and dig into this because I think I have a lot more fine details involving this, making this case that indeed Sony may not be around in the next 10 years. Now, I know a lot of cats listen to that, especially you Sony fans out there might be listening to that and be thinking, man, you out your monkey mind. How in the hell could Sony not be existing now in the next 10 years? That's just not gonna happen. You know, you know, I don't know where you're getting this from, but where's your evidence of that? That makes no sense, right? Well, man, I'm gonna start making a case. And when I say not existing, I don't mean existing just overall as Sony company just wrapping it up and shutting down as a Sony Entertainment and they don't exist anymore. No, that's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is exist in the same way that they do now, meaning their Sony PlayStation platform, having hardware, releasing software on exclusive to their hardware as they stand as they are now. I don't see them continuing beyond the next 10 years into a next generation in the same way that they are now. And I'm gonna start making a case for that. So first, you know, I wanted to start off with this, man. If you really start putting this in perspective, I'm gonna start breaking down these different layers, man. If you really start putting this in perspective, you think about it. Look at what Sony has done. They started out this generation talking about they believe in generations, and their console was so powerful, their games could only be played on the next generation console. Because the games that you were going to be getting were going to be so much top quality and next gen that, yeah, this is the reason why we're upping it up to $70, because, you know, we can't even afford to make games like this anymore because it's such a high quality. You know, we gotta charge you $70. So of course that all went out the window when you found out that there were nothing but fucking liars, that not only you know, they were full of shit about generations, but these games are not even next gen games. I mean, they could all be played on a PS4. And the evidence of that is they're still currently selling the PS4. Now, you know you're in trouble when you're at the point where you're literally still going to be still selling PS4s at the same time as you're supposed to have a next generation console. I mean, think about that. Really put that into perspective. Okay, this is how bad things are for you, that you release your next gen console and you literally have to still not only have all your games are still going to be played on the PS4, but you're still currently selling the PS4. Okay, Microsoft stopped selling the Xbox One over a year ago. So that hasn't been a thing. As soon as they started the generation, they were done with those consoles. They still wanted to make sure make sure that the Xbox Series was still compatible to backwards compatibility. But what they didn't want to do is have people to have to still be relying on buying an Xbox One to still play what's supposed to be next generation games. I mean, imagine what you would hear from the gaming media on that one. When it comes to Sony, it's like crickets. No one talks about it. We just act like it's okay. But if this was Microsoft, that's all you would hear about, is how, the last generations are holding Microsoft's Series X back. You don't hear none of that with Sony. Somehow, you always see this double standard. You don't hear any of it. But I digress. But here we are with the PS5. Not even 1 terabyte of space. Remember, the PS4 Pro even had at least 1 terabyte of space. You don't have a terabyte of space. You literally have to pay for cloud storage, which is insane when you think about it. As you could see, Sony has a business model that makes you pay for everything. They penny clitch every single thing they could possibly get out of you. Now, that brings me to why. Think about this, especially when we want to think about the whether or not Sony can be able to keep up with Microsoft in any kind of profound way going into the future. So think about this. Sony as a whole company, and I mean Sony as Sony Entertainment, movies and all, they're not even worth $150 billion. Okay? So think about that. Let that sink in. They're not even worth $150. On the contrary, Microsoft is worth over $2 trillion. So when you think about that, you think about which company has the ability to of plenty of resources to pour into game development, to pour into new acquisitions, and obviously bringing forth new studios that are going to develop new games, a variety of all types of different games, and bringing in new talent, and making sure their hardware is top of the line. You see with Microsoft, you're getting the top of the line hardware, you get a top of the line service, and you're now getting a plethora of highly rated, highly dedicated, and decorated studios that are going to be creating some incredible games down the pike. You have more games coming for next gen games. I mean, full-fledged next gen, not no cross-gen bullshit like you're seeing with Sony. Next gen games than any other platform out there right now. Okay. And then of course you could play them on PC, your laptop, your tablet, and soon coming your TV. So think about the variety of places that you can play, the flexibility you have, the value you have as buying into the Microsoft platform. It's unmatched and it's unparalleled at this point when it comes to the value. If you think that is not going to start completely taking up gamer mindshare and decimating Sony moving forward into this generation, you better think again. And these are just some of the inroads that are going to start corroding Sony's brand and start having it dawn on people, why the hell would I want to get a PS5? And I think what's going to exacerbate that even more is the fact that PS5, more so than the Series S, is so hard to get your hands on, people are going to start figuring out, why would I even waste my time even getting this console when they're literally just releasing every now and then a PlayStation exclusive I could play on my PS4. What's the point of getting a PS5? Once that really starts to dawn on the masses, yeah, we're going to have even more so of an exodus from the PS5 and from the Sony brand. And that's only going to get worse as you start seeing games like this, Starfield, start to bust out. And remember, that's coming this year. And you start to see all these great games start to come out for Microsoft, hitting one after another, all coming day and date in Game Pass. Game Pass, which is going to have over 30 million subscribers subscribe to it, playing it day one. If you start looking at it and adding it up, you got to ask yourself, what the hell does Sony have to combat against that? And as you can see with their new PS Plus service that they try to combine everything together, it's a disaster. They have nothing. If you think their cross-gen God of War is going to be able to stand up to what Microsoft has to offer, you better think again. And if you think their little year exclusivity of games that they keep trying to do is going to keep people around with Sony, you better think again as well. It's really Sony trying to use old school tactics to combat a new frontier and a new era of gaming, which is what Microsoft is ushering in. They're ushering in a new era of gaming. They're ahead of their time, and everyone else is playing catch up. And with Sony, with their old school business model of trying to do it back in the yesterday, of trying to combat what it is for today, good luck. It's just not going to happen. And because of those things, and Sony just basically being broke as hell, they just can't afford to do a Game Pass. You got guys like Zacher87 talking about eventually Sony's going to do a Game Pass. And I just laugh, man, because I'm thinking, what the hell are you talking about? That's not happening. Sony's not doing a Game Pass. Why? Because they just can't afford it. You think they can afford going into red for what could be a year or two, offering their games day and date to a stream service that no one wants or cares or subscribe to? Trust and believe that'll be the death of them, and they know it. They just can't afford to do that. To just completely switch up their business model in the beginning of the generation like this, when they've already have a complete plan of how they do things, as well as they have their you got to remember, they have their customer base that has a certain expectation, and you could see their network is garbage. They just can't even they can't even do. They're barely trying to grasp the concept of having PS3 games backwards compatible on their platform, let alone be able to run a robust network like something like Game Pass. I mean, they just don't have. They're trying to charge you for they're trying to charge you literally for cloud space saves. What does that tell you? They don't have a network set up to anything like Game Pass that is going to be compatible with Game Pass or comparable to it. So, I mean, they're not even trying. They're figuring, well, let's just focus on what we do best. And that is just going to be locking games down to their crappy PS5 console, which is subpar versus the PS5. Versus the Series X and the S. It's just not compatible. When you start having the Series X, we think about it. We're not even seeing half of the feature sets that the Series consoles can even do. When that starts coming out and hitting, and Sony starts getting left behind because, Sony didn't bother to ensure that they made sure they had a full feature set of RDNA 2. When that starts to hit, you start seeing the 2.0 start to hit when it comes to that graphic, allowing those graphics to show and keep that frame rate high. So basically, we're at a point where we could start literally seeing 60 frames with ray tracing on a Series X. yeah, you can start kissing Sony goodbye when you start seeing that. Remember now, a lot of their next gen games are going to be coming out with tapping into the full capabilities of what the Series X can do. That's where they can demonstrate that to the full. So fuck what the other developers, the third party developers are doing. Microsoft can start doing that themselves. When those games start hitting, they're going to set the industry standard for what games should look like and play like. And Sony's going to be stuck in the past. So we're literally seeing a Netflix blockbuster play out right in front of our face when it comes to Sony versus Microsoft here. And I really see that the only real contenders are going to be Google, Amazon, and Microsoft, because they're going to be the only ones big enough to be able to challenge Microsoft. But as we can see, Microsoft is fully ahead. You see what happened when Google tried to jump in. So getting to the end game, I would see for Sony moving forward, they're literally going to be reduced to what you see from Sega. They're going to use their intellectual property to just sell their games multi-plat. They're no longer going to have hardware anymore, because I would see the PS4, PS5 Pro as more than likely the last console. And we're going to be getting the next generation. Sony's going to drop their hardware and just push out their software on multiplat. And that's what's going to be spelled the ending of Sony as a hardware developer. I honestly, truly believe that we could be seeing that in the next 10 years. And that's just by looking at the pure facts. It's obvious that, Sony is outclassed completely by Microsoft, now actually putting their money where their mouth is. And they ain't playing around this generation. And I've been saying this for years, man, that this is where things were going. Nobody didn't believe me. But now we're starting to see that come into play with Microsoft killing the game. This is another game with Redfield. This is another game that's gonna be killing the game. I mean, we got so many games in the pipeline. What do you even know is coming out for Sony right now? Really, honestly, any full-fledged next generation games? I mean, literally right now, they have 0 full-fledged next generation games that you can really be looking forward to if you're a Sony fan. And it's really at the point where it's really getting sad and pathetic. You don't hear much from the media, of course, because they're always trying to protect Sony, but that protection is only going to last for so long. With Sony's poor performance, not showing anything, and the stuff they do show is going to be subpar to Microsoft, and also Microsoft killing the game with value, bringing value to its customers. Good luck. So I see this as really spelling the end for Sony moving forward 10 years from now, and I totally agree with Viper. But yeah, man, that's my assessment of it, my breakdown. I would love to hear what you guys think. Do you guys think Sony will still be in the hardware business 10 years from now? With the way things are going? All right, man, I would love to hear what you guys think. But man, until the next time, man, I'm gone.